Hello YouTube, it's Sean from Fergie Time here, back with the first Merlin Premier League sticker album look through, review, whatever you want to call it. I'm not 100% sure, but anyway. So yes, this is one of the first sticker albums that I actually bought. This isn't my original one, unfortunately. My original one, well, it's probably become lost to time now. I thought it was in my parents' loft. I remember getting this my last year of school and getting really heavily into collecting stickers, along with a Sonic the Hedgehog sticker album, which I funnily enough did complete. But anyway, totally different. Yes, this was the first sticker album that I got into for football, collecting wise, and 1994 is a pretty amazing year for me. It was my last real year of primary school. I've got such good memories of playing for the school football team around that time. You know, happy days in the playground, trading all these sort of stickers, trying to get the stickers that you needed to complete your album. Like I said, I never actually completed my original one. This one is actually, I believe it's owned by somebody called Ben Tucker. Let me just put this in the middle so you guys can see. Yeah, Ben Tucker at the top there. So Ben Tucker, this is your album. It's still complete and in good condition. So 1994, guys, 30 years ago. We're going to look through the squads. We're going to look through some of the players and also the grounds, which have changed massively over the years. So yeah, things that happened of note in 1994. Nelson Mandela became the first black president of South Africa. The Channel Tunnel opened. The first episode of Friends aired in the US. F1 legend Ayrton Senna was killed in the San Marino Grand Prix. Kurt Cobain was also found dead in Seattle. The first national lottery draw takes place, and the Sony PlayStation was released by Sony. 1994, guys. Also, the music charts were dominated by Mariah Carey, E17, Wet Wet Wet, Wigfield, and of course the Manchester United team song. Top films of the year also include The Lion King, The Mask, Four Weddings and a Funeral, Miss Doubtfire, and of course Schindler's List. Not to get those two films mixed up with its audience, the last two there. So anyway, let's start off having a quick look at this. I don't know how long this is going to take to film, but it's going to be good to go through this and yeah, just reminisce really. Like I said, back in sort of the 90s, this would have been one of the only albums that I didn't complete, along with my younger brother Ed. We completed a lot of our albums together via the swap shop and also playground trades. I remember giving 20 stickers for, who was it? It was a Leeds United player. Oh, it was David O'Leary. No, not David O'Leary. Was it Gary McAllister? We'll get to it down the line. One of the albums with Gary McAllister playing for Leeds in, or was it? Oh, I don't know. We'll get to it. I remember giving 20 stickers to get that sticker, and it'll come back to me. Sorry. Anyway, we're looking at Premier League 1994, and the fun days here are always a big part of these sticker albums. I believe that they were actually sponsored by a lot of these, and this got the original stuff off the ground, the producing of the album and stuff like that. So all these things here, like the Fort Park logo. You can still get these Merlin passes nowadays, obviously, but yeah, the first edition, introduction to the Premier League, with a nice shiny here, and Andy Gray, a young looking Andy Gray with a very 90s Sky Sports jacket, as you can see here. If I can just take the glare off of it here. But yeah, so Andy Gray, Sky Sports, the old logo as well, very nostalgic. Yeah, so anyway, and the old Mitre footballs, who remembers those? Absolutely nostalgic beyond belief. So we look here and we've got the charts come out. Obviously Ben has completed some of the team charts. Here's how they did during the season, and we get into our first team. If I skipped a page there, I believe I have. So we come straight away to Arsenal, the first team. It's Arsenal, guys. So we're going to start off here with David Seaman, Lee Dixon, Nigel Winterburn. I'm not going to go through absolutely everyone, but we've got some big players in this album. We've got Tony Adams, obviously George Graham being the manager. We've got Paul Merson, Alan Smith. We've got a young Kevin Campbell here, and Ian Wright, obviously, and a very young Ray Parlour. And of course the obligatory, the very famous sticker of John Jensen, who, yeah, obviously this man here, George Graham, would come unstuck about in future years. Obviously George Graham taking bungs to take players such as Jeff Jensen John Denson, sorry. So these early albums also 1994 and I think 95 as well, which you'll see as we review them down the line. The stats aren't under the players, they're at the side, so you've got to look down here and sort of see. Looking straight here, just trying to see, we've got a young Paul Dickhoff there. He played 3 games, scored 2 goals, so a great record for Arsenal at the beginning of his career before we went off. So you've really got to look in the actual side columns here to see any other players that there are on the books at any given time. So we've got a nice big double sticker here of Ian Wright. In previous unpackings of stickers, we managed to pair up in the video for the stickers, which has just been recorded. Ian Rush and Ryan Giggs. Ian's already on here, as you can see, and Ryan is down here. So yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it? These double stickers, they were so cool to be able to collect, and they took forever to try and match up. We've got some team pictures here. Again, they were stickers as well, and also the shiny for the club crest. Even though I'm a sort of a Tottenham fan as well as Pompey, I always love the Arsenal logo. We've got some facts on Highbury here, how to get there by car, so it's giving you directions, much in the same way as every other football club, football album, does. So the next team we go on to is Aston Villa. We got a team picture here. Again, another classic crest, which hasn't changed much over the years for Aston Villa. I believe this was the year Guy Whittingham signed for Aston Villa. Yeah, there he is there from Pompey. So we've got some notable players here. We've got Mark Bosnich. Pompey also had these similar kits, the goalkeeping kits. They're exactly the same, but just with Goodman's on from Aztecs at the time. Who else have we got here? We've got Paul McGrath. We've got Ron Atkinson, the manager, Dean Saunders, Tony Daly, and of course Guy Whittingham, who would have had an absolutely outrageous goal scoring total for Pompey at about the time. So 114 games, 46 goals, and between the 92 and 93 season, he had 46 games and 42 goals. I mean, Guy Whittingham was an absolute legend for Pompey. So got a few facts here and a 10-year record of how Villa have done over the years. Obviously, the squad is improving because they're 7th and 2nd the year before this. So obviously, a very, very good team that they were turning out to be. And Mark Bosnich was front and centre of that, but also the calming influence of Paul McGrath. And also players like Andy Townsend as well. Totally missed him there. Ray Houghton. These two here were brilliant during this season, I seem to recall. So next we come on to Blackburn Rovers. A very, very young-looking Blackburn Rovers team. As we look at them, Kenny Dalglish here. Had players such as Tim Flowers, David May, Colin Hendry. What a team this was. David Batty, a young Tim Sherwood, Paul Warhurst, Alan Shearer, Stuart Ripley, Mike Newell as well. We've got a very young Jason Wilcox here, and a Graham Lasso. What a team. This is such a great team, and we're going to do great things in the next few years. But obviously, nowadays, it's amazing how things can change, isn't it? Influence of money, people will say, with Jack Walker coming in and putting his money into the team. But you get what you pay for, don't you? And I mean, look at Ewood Park, guys. How much Ewood Park has changed nowadays. I'll have a picture in here for Ewood Park nowadays, but it's quite a beautiful ground nowadays. And of course, the club crest hasn't changed over the years. Alan Shearer, of course, is their player of the double sticker variant. And then we come on to Chelsea. So Stamford Bridge, obviously same address, but the stand has changed massively over the past few years. Not the best picture, actually. It's quite overexposed, that picture. So to be fair, even with the glare I'm seeing on the camera as I'm recording it, it's not actually much better in real life. But so Chelsea, Dennis Wise as the double sticker. And then we go to Coventry. Guess who's coming next? Let's go back. Paul Ben's had to sellotape all this together. So we've got some honours lists here. League champions 54-55, FA Cup winners 1970. So we've got all the stuff down here. This is for every single club. Dmitry Karin, the goalkeeper, the Russian goalkeeper. I believe he was Russian. This is obviously before the money came into Chelsea. There's a few players of note here. Frank Sinclair, obviously. Tony Cascarino, obviously Glenn Hoddle, the manager, and Dennis Wise. I believe this would have been his first year. It would have been. So he got Swindon promoted from Division 1 and then left to become the Chelsea manager. I believe he was manager here for about 3 seasons. That'll obviously for Euro 96, yeah. So Euro 96, then he became the manager for obviously France 98, didn't he? So got Eddie Newton as well. Who else have we got here? Gavin Peacock. Yeah, he's got a very, very good X account that tweets the most random stuff ever. We've got the goalkeeper that always looks old, even when he was young, Steve Grizovic there, playing for Coventry City. Who else have we got here? So Phil Neal was the manager. We've got Mick Quinn. Brilliant Pompey memories of this guy. Not really from myself, but my dad often spoke about Mick Quinn playing for Pompey and it sounded great. Peter and Love. Got Phil Babb before the Liverpool transfer. So we've got a few players here that were sort of knocking around at sort of lower league teams before getting that big move. Who else have we got here? Let's see if there's anyone else of note. No one else there. Can't really see anyone anyway. Roy Wrigley there. But anyway, Coventry City. Still got a very, very similar badge, obviously. I pulled a shiny of the club badge recently in one of the stickers. Peter and Love. He was a massively touted player. Didn't really go on too much. I seem to recall he went off to Birmingham after this. I might be wrong, but yeah, I seem to remember trying to sign him all the time on Premier Manager. He was quite good, but anyway, we come on to Everton as well. Goodison Park. Not much longer. This is going to be with us. Such a shame. Shameless plug here. I will put a link to it in the bottom description. But I help run a charity pitch day sort of Facebook page where we play at different clubs. We got so close to getting Goodison Park this year, the year before it's due to be demolished, but unfortunately we couldn't get the cost to work. If anyone's interested, I'll put a link to the page. Obviously if you join, then you get a chance to purchase a position to play. This year we're playing at Queen's Park Rangers at Loftus Road, so really looking forward to that. We'll get to that in a minute, obviously. Neville Southall, sticker's not been put in very well from Ben. Must have been rushing on the way to school, trying to do it in the back of the car. So we've got Howard Kendall as manager. Neville Southall, a very slimline Neville Southall, brilliant goalkeeper. Used to love signing him on Premier Manager. Absolute solid keeper. Who else have we got here? Everton had a great team around this time. Tony Cottee, obviously. Paul Rideout, massive memories of Paul Rideout. Who else have we got? Barry Horn at the top there. Peter Beagrie. Andy Hinchcliffe would go on to really big things with Everton and also play for England as well. Got Gary Ablett as well and Dave Watson. So brilliant little team here for Everton. We then come on to Ipswich. And I can't really, this is the season that they got thumped 9-1 or 9-0 by Manchester United, wasn't it? Or something like that, seems to recall. But yeah, we've got Mike McGibbon as manager. I don't really know many of these players, to be honest. Don't really know if many of these guys stuck around and played. Obviously Ian Marshall would go on to play for Leicester. He was actually a bit of a journeyman. I seem to recall Ian Marshall, because he played forward and defence, didn't he? Let's have a look at some of the clubs. I think he was a bit of a journeyman. Ian Marshall, was he every other side? Oh yeah, there he is. Also just seeing Chris Koromya. Of course, Chris Koromya would go on to play for some bigger teams as well. So yeah, so Ian Marshall played for Oldham a lot before this. He also started off at Everton. Had a good goal scoring record actually at Oldham in the 90-91 season. So, but look at that. That is a scowl if ever I've seen one. So yeah, we have Ipswich Town here, the team picture. So we've got Chris Koromya as their not rising star, but their best players usually put on the double sticker in these sticker albums. Great badge as well, that hasn't changed in the team picture. We then come on to Leeds United. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Gary McAllister in one of my later albums, probably 96, I would say. Maybe was he at Coventry by then? We'll find out in subsequent reviews of these. I traded like 20 stickers to get one. And then we completed the book. And I remember coming home that night and just being so over the moon that we managed to get Gary McAllister, because my brother was in primary school when I was in sort of middle school by then, so we're in different schools. But yeah, so another great team, of course. Again, these are the Pompey kits that we had as well with the Goodmans. These are the same as the Blackburn Rovers shirts. A great little team. David O'Leary playing here. We've got young Gary Speed, Gordon Strachan, Dave Rocastle. We've got Gary Kelly, a very young Gary Kelly, Gary Gary McAllister, try and get my words out. We got a Noel Whelan, very young Noel Whelan. He would go on to play for... he started off at Leeds. That would have been his first year before this. He went on to play for Coventry. Unfortunately, he had quite an injury-plagued career, but always had a lot of ability. I've read a few autobiographies with people saying that this guy had so much ability, but never showed up. Never sort of lived up to it, sadly. Got Tony DeRigo at the top there as well. And obviously John Lukic there. We then come on to Liverpool. This will be a great team. So Bruce Grobbelaar, I believe this was one of his last years playing for Liverpool. So we've got some massive players here. What a team. Bruce Grobbelaar. We've got Rob Jones. Julian Dixon, his ill-fated 1 year stay, I believe. Or was it 2 years? I thought it was 2 years, actually, wasn't it? No, I think it was 1 year. He was sold back to West Ham shortly after this season. Jan Malby, I believe this was his last real year. I think he had one more after this. Young Jamie Redknapp and Steve McManaman. This probably would have been Jamie Redknapp's first year playing for Liverpool after transferring from Bournemouth. I know, I stand corrected. It would have been his third year. I stand corrected. He's just incredibly young there. Speaking of incredibly young, look at Robbie Fowler. Jesus. And Don Hutchinson, who would go on to play for Sunderland, do pretty well there and carve out a pretty good career playing for the likes of Everton as well. Nigel Clough, Paul Stewart, Ian Rush, John Barnes, Steve Nicol, Graham Souness with the legendary Tash, and Neil Ruddock and Mark Wright. Great squad from Liverpool. Never the biggest Liverpool fan, but I can appreciate their squads over the years. And Ian Rush, obviously got Ian up here as well. We pulled the sticker for him. And Anfield obviously has changed massively now as well. So I'll put another picture in of Anfield if you can see that one there. But So we then come on to the first of the Manchester clubs, Manchester City, with Niall Quinn as the double sticker on the front here. Let's go in. I'm trying to think, would this been the year they had Kincladze? I think it might have been. Was it a year after? It was a couple of years after this, I seem to recall. It doesn't look like it was. Got Tony Coton here, Terry Phelan, Keith Curl. Actually, it's a great squad. Gary Flitcroft. Brian Horton is the manager. It would have been his first year. Yeah, he was the manager of Oxford before this. I remember Brian Horton. They were playing Pompey quite a lot around this year, actually, 92, 93. Who else have we got here? We got Steve McMahon, Mike Sharon, Fitzroy Simpson before his transfer to Pompey. So Fitzroy Simpson there. And we've got Niall Quinn, obviously, and David White as well. David White was a bit of a journeyman, I seem to recall. Not David White, sorry. God, look at that. Andy Dibble, look at this. Andy Dibble's not even on the layout, I believe, for players. He must have been one of the subs. But Andy Dibble. I've never heard of him. Andy Dibby, sorry. Started off in 81, 82. So he played for Cardiff City, Luton Town, Sunderland, Luton again, Huddersfield, Luton again. Then went on to City, Aberdeen. A lot of these are loans, admittedly. Middlesbrough, Man City, Bolton Wanderers, West Bromwich Albion, Man City, Oldham on loan. Jesus, the guy loves to travel. Next we come on to Manchester United, who have gone to obviously massive things. We've got legendary Peter Schmeichel. I mean, I don't even have to name all these players, but let's just go through it, shall we? We've got Paul Parker, Dennis Irwin, Paul Ince, Brian Robson, Andre Kanchelskis, Eric Cantona, Ryan Giggs, a really young Roy Keane there, not long after his Nottingham Forest transfer. Lee Sharp, Gary Pallister, Steve Bruce. Really, really sad. It's obviously Quickly Kevin, the podcast with Josh Widdicombe, is ending very, very soon. I'm going to the live show really soon. I cannot wait to watch that. See that live. But they've obviously just covered his books. He is an author on 3 books, I believe. A sweeper, defender, and striker, I believe they're called. But they're just awful. But anyway, you got to love the guy for trying. Let's put it that way, eh? So, got Brian McClare. We've got a very young Dion Dublin. Look at that. And Mark Hughes. What a lineup. And obviously Alex Ferguson. Pretty crazy defending champions. They won it the year before. Got the Man United shiny. We've got half of Ryan here. We've also got his lower legs next to him. So, he was on the stickers we pulled. Obviously, this has changed massively again. unbelievably changed. So we've got some of the programmes here, stickers. So we've got Aston Villa, Coventry City, we've got Everton, Blackburn Rovers, Chelsea, Arsenal and Ipswich Town. Who else have we got? I've got a few of these Spurs ones actually. I think I've actually got this Tottenham one. But let's have a look around. So we've got Leeds United, Manchester City, Liverpool, Newcastle United, Norwich City with Chris Sutton on the front. Oldham Athletic, Manchester United, Southampton. We pulled that in one of the sticker packs. And again, we pulled this one. West Ham United, Swindon Town, Sheffield United, Queen's Park Rangers, Sheffield Wednesday with Chris Waddle, and Wimbledon there and Tottenham Hotspur. And then we've got about the fabulous footballing facts about Sky. Well, yeah, that's, I mean, you know, a really, really incredible time in football history. The fact that these guys pretty much, let's be honest, the Premier League was massively made by Sky and its millions being put in. But look at the jacket Richard Keys is wearing there. Just, I mean, if you bought a pack of stickers and you pulled this sticker, you'd be pretty upset, wouldn't you? Or something random like this, a cameraman or the blimp or something like that. But yeah, can you imagine if you pulled all 4 of these stickers, like no players at all, just pulled the sticker and thought, actually, God knows. Oh man, I remember these. So we didn't actually have, this was one of the pages on Ed and I's album that was very, very sparse. I mean, we had about 4 kits. I always remember this. We had this, and I seem to recall we had the Dagenham Motors one. We had the West Ham one as well. Don't think we had any more. But yeah, these are all shiny. So the home kit was usually the one you picked up, and the away kit was the one that was solid printed in the album. But yeah, I mean, some brilliant kits in here. Yeah, so we move on to the honours. We've got the FA Premier League trophy here. We've got the FA Cup as well, which is not a sticker. We've got Newcastle United's Andy Cole, or Andrew Cole, as he prefers to be named now. So, with Newcastle United shiny. We've got Mike Hooper, Barry Venison, fantastic hair, still got fantastic hair now. We've got Steve Watson, John Beresford. This guy, I'm not even going to try and say. We've got Kevin Keegan. Who else? We've got Andy Cole, Rob Lee. We've got just an amazing team. Lee Clark, a very young Lee Clark up there. Paul Bracewell. In fact, let's go back to St James's Park. Let's look how much that's changed, because I think this might have been the year before they had their big stand. No, that's not really on there, but I think their big stand was being constructed around this time. Norwich City with Mike Walker, Ian Walker's dad, the Tottenham goalkeeper, which obviously you guys will know, completely pointless fact. But anyway, just slipped out. We've got Brian Gunn in goal. Who else? We've got Chris Sutton up front, would have been one of his last seasons. Efan Akuku, Mark Robbins. Who else have we got here? We've got the Jeremy Goss, Rolf Fox as well, one of his last seasons. Gary Megson, a very, very sparse picture of Gary Megson before his management career started. I seem to recall he played for who was it he played for quite a long time? I can't remember, it's escaping me. I don't think he's managed. Oh, probably just look in the glossary actually. I seem to recall it was Sheffield United. Gary Megson. Sheffield Wednesday. It was Sheffield Wednesday, not United. Oh, sorry, would have offended a few people there for sure. And we also got Mark Robbins there as well. Darryl Such, good little squad actually, not too bad. Carrow Road hasn't changed much over the years. Chris Sutton is the double sticker and the shiny. The team badge hasn't changed really at all. We then come on to Oldham. They had a pretty decent little team, I seem to recall. They had a few players that went on to do things, I seem to recall after this brief stay. Paul Gerrard went on to play for Everton, I seem to recall. Who else have we got here? Gunnar Haller went on to play for Leeds. No, not really seeing anyone else actually. Maybe it was Paul Barnard there as well. Yeah, not really a stellar team in the Premier League, but I mean you can't fault what Joe Roll did, pretty much bringing this team up from League Two. First season here, finished in 19th, finally getting promoted in 1991 season. 1990-91 season in first. Then they came up to the Premier League when it was expanded, I believe, when it changed in to the Premier League last year. And the first year they finished 19th, staying up by the skin of their teeth. Because I think it went down, wasn't it 24 teams originally, since we were called the Premier League? I have to actually look back on that, actually. I think that's massively wrong. But anyway, we've got the Queen's Park Rangers team here. So, yeah, shameless plug again. I think it's actually on the page after this. But, yeah, my Facebook page, Charity Pitch Day organisation thing that we run along with my friend. We're playing at Loftus Road, so if anyone's interested, click on the link and hopefully there'll be some positions left and you can purchase some. But we've got Trevor Sinclair, Clive Wilson, the legend that is Ray Wilkins, Les Ferdinand, Bradley Allen. Yeah, not a bad team they had back then, actually. We've got Darren Peacock playing there as well, David Bardsley. So yeah, we're playing here. Great, I cannot wait for this, actually. Really looking forward to this. Queen's Park Rangers. Les Ferdinand is the double sticker. We then go on to Sheffield United, I believe the penultimate, one of the last clubs, actually. No, what am I about? It just feels really thin. Bramall Lane hasn't really changed much over the years. I believe they developed this stand here. It's now a double tier stand, which I believe comes around and joins up here. Yeah, anyway. So Justin Flo, is the double sticker on here. We've got the team badge as well up top there, and the squad picture. Got Alan Kelly. Who else have we got? David Little, Brian Gale, David Barnes. Notable players. I'm trying to see who else we've got here. No one else that really jumps out on me. I mean, Justin Flo is the double sticker at the front. But yeah, not really anyone else in there that I would say I recognise massively. Now, I'm going to be honest with you here. I used to love Sheffield Wednesday. I absolutely loved their club badge. You know, and also quite used to like Chris Woods, because I used to play as goalkeeper when I was in primary school. And Chris Woods obviously was England #1 at the time. But they had a great team back in the day. Nigel Worthington would go on to manage, obviously. Who else we've got? We've got Nigel Pearson, so 2 managers there. We got Carlton Palmer, of course, Trevor Francis, and his 3rd season it would have been with Sheffield Wednesday. Who else we've got? Des Walker, John Sheridan, Andy Sinton before the Spurs transfer, a very young Gareth Keenan here from The Office fame. Graham Hyde, obviously. Chris Waddle. Mark Bright, this would have been his transfer from. Didn't he go to Wednesday after Crystal Palace? Yeah, he did. He did go. Since to recall, it wasn't the other way around. So we've got David Hurst, who was usually really good at the start of the season, then it would always tail off towards the end. So yeah, I used to love this. I love this badge. Absolutely loved it. I remember once asking for a Sheffield Wednesday shirt for one of my birthdays. My parents going, "What?" I can't blame them, to be fair. Yeah, one of my children came up and said random thing like they wanted a Sheffield Wednesday shirt. I would have been quite shocked, but anyway. Andy Sinton is the double sticker variant. Now we move on to a club that I've got very little love for, being a Pompey fan, and that is Southampton. But you can't discredit what this guy did. Scorer of incredible goals, and just an absolute marvel as to why he didn't win more England caps, really. The Dale was sadly no longer with us, even though being a Pompey fan, the Dale was always quite a cool little ground. I went there once or twice. I used to like the way the stand sort of tapered in. You know, the fact they fitted it in on a postage stamp. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good, to be fair. And their team got Dave Besant, who would go on to play for Pompey further down the line. Got Peter Reid as well. I seem to recall it was one of his last. Clubs he joined, and obviously we've got Ian Dowie as well. We've got Nicky Banger, I seem to recall, before he went on to Oxford, was it? I think he went on to Oxford after this. Who else we've got? We've got Matt Letitia, obviously, and Ken Moncal, Richard Hall. Yeah. Move on to Swindon Town, a team I believe they got relegated this year because this was after Glenn Hoddle left. So yeah, we've got actually John Gorman, who was the assistant, took over after Glenn Hoddle left. So yeah, looking in here, we've got Fraser Digby in goal, Adrian Whitbread before he moved to Pompey. I believe he moved in the summer of '95. He joined Pompey. So he had quite a good career actually with Portsmouth. He then went back to Swindon, I seem to recall, after Pompey. But there's not really any other players here that I'm seeing that I would recognise, or that you guys might recognise. We've got Nicky Summerby Probably one of the most notable ones. Since we recall, we went on to, where was it? Would it have been Oxford or? I can't remember. I think it was Oxford he went to and did really well. So we've got Swindon Town here. We've got Paul Bowden as the, and we've got the stadium address. Stadium address. Got the county ground here, which looks massively different now. Actually, there's roofs all around it, obviously. Coming on to White Hart Lane, sadly no longer with us as well now. Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and my favourite club crest. Used to love this. They had some lovely shirts back in the day, and an absolute legendary manager here in Ozzy Ardiles. The way Ozzy played was quite incredible, really. But I mean, he had some good players coming through. We've got Ari Torsvedt, who was actually on the FIFA 95 cover from this season. Would have been taken. Got Dean Austin, Gary Mabbott, a young Justin Edinburgh, who would go on to play for Tottenham, for Pompey as well as Sol Campbell. Colin Calderwood, who would also go on to play for Nottingham Forest. After this, we've got Jason Dazelle, Nick Barmby. Is this Nick Barmby's first season? It would have been his first season. Of course it would have been. Who else have we got here? So we've got Gordon Jury, David Howells, Teddy Sheringham, Darren Anderton. Darren Anderton, obviously a Pompey legend around about this time. Would have been his second season, would it? Yeah, second season. So, and David Kerslake as well. We then move on to West Ham, and Billy Bonds as the manager. Ludovic McCloskey, David Burrows, Tim Breaker, Steve Potts. Actually, it's a proper old school team, this, isn't it? But yeah, not bad team actually. We've got Clive Allen also playing for him. Martin Allen, who would go on to play for Pompey down the line as well. We then go to Wimbledon's going to be our club after this, but obviously Upton Park, no longer around now, of course. They've moved into the Olympic Stadium. Got a team picture here as well. I always seem to remember the team picture for West Ham was really close to the players. We've got Dale Gordon is the two-player variant here, sticker collection. We've got John Fashanu and Wimbledon. The club obviously technically not really with us anymore. But we've got Hans Sagers with his Sondico sponsorship there in plain sight. Who else have we got? Dean Blackwell. We've got Dean Holdsworth and Vinnie Jones, two mainstays. Who else have we got? Interesting. I was going to say Robbie Earl. I was pretty sure Robbie Earl played from around this time. So Robbie Earl's down there as well. They actually had a pretty good little side. But so that's Wimbledon. And then we come to the Rising Stars. The Rising Stars. So let's have a quick look. Now, you know what? I was actually going to look in. I've just totally forgot to do it. I was going to look to find out where these guys went. But a few of these names here I recognised. So let's start off with Steve Froggatt. Well, Steve Froggatt went to play for Leicester for quite a long time, I seem to recall. Ian Seeley, I do remember the name Ian Seeley, but I can't place where he might have played. No idea about Neil Bartlett. AD Mike. So if Paul King is watching this, who did my Tottenham Q&A sort of about your club, it's the only one I've done actually, so it shouldn't be too difficult to find. AD Mike was the one he came undone on the stickers, but AD Mike, hey, you would have thought. And Neil Shipley went on to play for a whole host of clubs. I seem to recall most famously would have been Crystal Palace he played for quite a long time. Jamie Forrester, he went on to play for a few clubs as well. We've got Darren Eady as well. And obviously Darren Caskey, my mate Phil, who actually co-runs the charity football events with me, as a Reading fan. And absolutely love Darren Caskey being a club legend for Reading. So, but other than that, guys, that is it. As we conclude the look through the Premier League sticker album 1994, and a big advert here for Sky. If you're missing any of the players, you'll find them on Sky Sports. Look at that classic logo. And on the back, it had about exclusive limited edition official Premier League collection cards, which, funny enough, I was looking at on eBay a couple of months ago. Never bought any though, but anyway. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed this. This is the first review of a sticker album that I'm going to be doing. The next one is actually my own copy, and it is Premier League 95. That'll be coming, and this was fully completed as well. My little brother and I collected all these stickers over that season and completed it. as we did with the subsequent albums that followed up to the year 1999. So, guys, I want to thank you for taking 35 minutes, or let's be honest, 36 minutes by the time this video's finished, of your life, and joining me as we walk down memory lane with the Merlin Premier League sticker album 1994. Please feel free to comment, rate and subscribe, and I'll see you all again soon. Thanks for watching.